Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. After a small delay, Gallipoli is here. This is the fourth installment of the World War I game series that goes all the way back to Verdun in 2015. There's not actually that many other games that focus on the conflicts of World War I, and all the other ones that are out seem to be dead. So if you're looking for an authentic World War I gaming experience, this is the place to go. I've been playing the game for the past 2 days, and if you hang around, I'll let you know if I think it's worth your time and your money. But first, let's have a look at the tactical situation for the Allies in 1915. Being caught up in a bit of a stalemate trench warfare situation in Europe, they were looking for another route to attack the Central Powers from. So, hoping for a quick victory, they decided to attack the Ottoman Empire.
Yes. Look, I am more white than you. You look gypsy. I am blonde hair.
They were hoping to capture Constantinople to force open the Dardanelles and also the Bosphorus Strait. In doing this, they could have relieved the Russians, allowing essential supplies to get in and for the Russians to export their wheat. They also thought that by capturing Constantinople, they would knock out the Ottomans out of the war, and this would convince neutral nations like Greece and Bulgaria to join on the Allied side. So, on March 18th, a joint Anglo and French fleet tried to force the Dardanelles, but the Ottomans were prepared. They had mined the straits and left anti-submarine nets in the water, along with a large array of coastal batteries that were looking down the straits. The attack was unsuccessful. After 3 ships were sunk and 3 more damaged, the attack was called off. It was then decided that a naval landing would be needed to take the forts and destroy the guns, allowing ships safe passage through the Dardanelles Straits. And on the 25th of April, that day came. The French launched a diversionary landing at Cumcale, and the British landed at Cape Helles. The Australia-New Zealand Army Corps drifted north from their intended landing zone and landed at the now-named Anzac Cove. Well, this beach that the Australians and New Zealanders had landed on was composed of cliffs, and the Ottoman defenders, although outnumbered, did enjoy the high ground. Noticing that the Australians and New Zealanders were making for the high ground, Ottoman commander Mustafa Kemal, who would later be named Ataturk for his actions in this campaign, ordered his men to stand where they were and die until reinforcements could arrive to relieve the position, stopping the Anzacs from taking the high ground and saving the Ottomans the campaign. After the Ottomans had stopped the advance of all the beachheads, it slowly ground down into trench warfare with horrific conditions, with flies swarming on unburied corpses. The trenches had no floorboards, so you couldn't really sit down. There was lice and dysentery running rampant throughout the ranks, and the Ottomans always enjoyed the high ground so they could continuously shoot down on the Allied positions. After enduring 8 months of these conditions, and much to the Ottomans' surprise, the Allies made a skillful withdrawal on the 9th of January 1916. And with that, let's come back to the game. The first thing you notice is that the graphics look awesome. The detailing on all the guns and on all the equipment throughout the map just looks incredible. You'll notice that a lot of YouTube thumbnails use the same pose. The maps as well are just stunning. And if you turn off the HUD, it's a really cool experience just to walk through and take in all the atmosphere. This is just my opinion, but I thought that the game looked a little bit washed out, so I took the Field Report Special and slapped on some reshade and dragged the saturation up. When you shoot a gun, it's got a nice weighty kick to it, and pulling the bolt back to reload has a nice clunk to it as well. As a side note, the reload animation for the field artillery is awesome. But as much as I love looking at all these beautifully crafted guns, there's not many to choose from. I don't really like the look of the Mausers on the Ottoman side. I feel like they just take up too much of the screen. So whenever I'm playing on the Ottoman side, I'm just using the Henry Martini rifles anyway. And when I drag the FOV slider all the way to the right, it still feels like the gun takes up too much of my screen, which is probably one of my biggest pet peeves with this game. But the devs have released a roadmap that shows that they're planning to add a whole load of new weapons and maps. I think the biggest difference between this game and Isonzo would be the suppression system. So in this game, when you're getting shot at, your character starts to have a little nervous breakdown and it just makes it impossible to land a shot on target. But in Isonzo, no matter what happened, your aim would just stay true and you could essentially snipe people from across the map. I think it's a good change, but it does feel like a bit much sometimes with your entire screen going black and your character having a little cry. And because of this, it feels like the game's been slowed down a little bit, almost like the devs are trying to make it feel a bit more like Squad or Hell Let Loose. And I feel feel like the slower pace is making it more difficult to attack. Mixed with the fact that the maps don't really have as much cover as the ones in Isonzo, it's quite difficult to actually get up to the enemy position. But this is maybe because not many people have discovered the officer role, so there's not a lot of people calling in smoke or airstrikes. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, but I've definitely had more fun defending in this game. So, do I think it's worth your money and worth your time? Well, I've been enjoying myself in this game, so I would say it's enjoyable and worth your time. Whether or not it's worth your money, that's up to you to decide. I bought the game for £25, buying the British Empire edition. Shameless British Empire plug right there. But you can pick up the base game for about £18 with a 25% discount, which will end on the 3rd of September. I do think it's worth your money. It's a really cool experience and there's more stuff being added in the future. I think even for this price it's probably worth what you're getting at the moment, so it's a yes from me. I'm going to keep playing this game. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Make sure you let me know what you think about the game, and if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching. The rest of the video will just be a few more clips of the game.
Keep an eye out for me! Replenishing my weapon! Cover me! Acımayın kardeşim! Gavur mevzisini sağlama aldı! Cephane dolduruyorum.